Yeah. Okay. Ready to go?
Ready?
Tell me when.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. And good morning, everyone. We are excited to be here this morning with you as we start day 5 of National Digital Inclusion Week here at Oak Hill Collaborative, located in the Mahoning Valley. What we're going to ask you to do is spend a little time with us this morning. And if you like the content, please hit the like button and be sure and subscribe if you want more of this content. So our purpose at Oak Hill Collaborative is to reduce and eliminate the digital divide. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, but we focus on 3 areas primarily. At a high level, we want to make sure there's internet available to people who need it. We'll make sure they're trained, they have the training and equipment that they need, and also they can afford it. So we have a lot of programs there. We have some digital navigators that I think you've met already this week, and they can help. In fact, when we're done with this, if you want additional information, we'll be talking about Bible apps this morning, but the whole idea is to kind of introduce you to the concept of going from paper to digital. And we're not going to make you experts today, but we would encourage you, if you want to find out more, give us a call. Our number here is 330-406-0731. That's 330-406-0731. And you can set an appointment up and have some one-on-one instruction. We can come out to your place. You can come to ours. Also, if you have a church group that wants to get together, we've done that. We've done some seminars and workshops with them as well. So with that in mind, this morning's content is all about Bible apps. And it's really almost, you could say, Bible App 101, or why even have a Bible app? Why not just use the Bible? So let's go into that. And a lot of the things we're going to say today they can apply whether you, no matter how much you want to study or read the Bible or how little you want to do it. So the typical way that I used to study and read the Bible is I had a lot of resources. So I have this big suitcase here, as you might see. You might say, well, Steve, what's in this suitcase? Well, I'm going to explain it to you in just a minute. So I got this big suitcase. Well, let me move it out of the way. I'll set it off to the side, and I'm going to open my suitcase. And typically what I would do when I was studying the Bible is I would haul out my stuff. So first of all, what I want is I want a Bible, right? So in this case, this happens to be the ESV Bible. I've got that, so I put that out. But you know what? I also like various other translations. So typically, let's go with maybe the Ryrie Study Bible, great resource. This happens to be King James. It's actually signed by Charles Ryrie, but what I like about this is it has the commentary, not only the text of the Bible, but also commentary, which is very helpful. So I use that a lot. But a lot of people like the NIV. So I also do go to the NIV translation a lot. This happens to be Schofield. Again, a lot of resources in here. And this is a red letter, and it's important because sometimes I like to read red letter where the words of Jesus are in red. So I got those Bibles. But now I'm not done yet because sometimes I really want to dig a little deeper. So there's a book here I use a lot. It says Know the Truth. It's all the basics of Christian beliefs. So I use this. But if I want to get a little deeper, I really got to go to maybe something with doctrine on it. And it's a great resource. This is Systematic Theology, which is I think a $2 word, means basically getting truly understanding a little bit more about the Bible. So I have this. But you know what? I also like to look at maps sometimes and understand where things are. So I have this Bible handbook, which has a lot of color pictures. It's got maps in it, all kinds of history behind it, so I can understand the culture that was taking place. So I've got that there. And at times, though, what I want to do is just want to read the Bible. Maybe I want to read through it in a year. I just want to read little pieces at a time. So I may get a Bible that you can read through. It's set up individual days and read through the whole Bible in a year. So I've got one of those here. So now I'm just about ready. Well, wait a sec. Almost ready, because I like to take notes, right? You got to take notes. So I need my notepad. And I'm kind of a color guy. I like different colors. So let me grab my fancy pen here. This is a 4-color pen. It's a Dr. Grip 4-color plus 1. So it's got red, blue, black, and green plus pencil. And now I'm all set, right? So with that in mind, I'm ready to go. This was my method, what I would call, I kind of nicknamed it BC. This is Steve's method BC, BC being before computer. Because all of this stuff that can be done easily on my smartphone. So when I'm looking at this, I can have all these, or I can use this. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Now, I'm not saying I never use these again, and I'm not recommending that you totally throw out all your Bibles, all your resources. But I want to give you an idea of something that can maybe lend itself and enhance your reading and your study with a Bible app. Now, exactly. So let me clear this out because this is a lot of stuff here. I feel like I'm a weightlifter. So when we look at taking the Bible and all the resources and putting it on here, we typically talk about a Bible app. So what is a Bible app? Bible app is basically a collection of all the material that you may need, and it's typically housed in a way together that you can easily integrate it. What I mean by that, I can look at one piece and hop to another piece, another resource, and back and forth, and it works very nicely. In this setup that we do here with YouTube, it's not very conducive for us to do the training and a workshop online like this. So what we're going to ask you to do is, if you like what you see and you want more information, give us a call. Again, that's 330-406-0731, and talk to one of our digital navigators, and we can come out and give you some more hands-on training. So when you go to the App Store, and this applies whether it's the Google Play, the iPhone, doesn't really matter. I'm going to reference an iPhone, but it's applicable to a Google Android as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to buy, or you're going to download an app. And I use the term buy very loosely because most of the apps that we recommend are free, at least to get started. And there's a wide variety of out there. There's dozens and dozens of Bible apps out there. Some of the more popular ones are YouVersion, Logos, Accordance, Blue Light Bible. Oh, wait a second, not Blue Light. Blue Light, that's my Kmart days. It's Blue Letter Bible. and Olive Tree. I personally like Olive Tree. I've used a lot of them. I've used most of the ones, all the ones I mentioned. But if you come in, we can sit down with you and kind of find out where your needs are and help you kind of fine tune that and select the one just for you. But some of the things to look at when you're considering ing to a technology device, whether it's a tablet, whether it's like a tablet like this, which works very nicely, or a smartphone, or even basically on the computer. The apps are out there, and some things to consider when you're looking at that. So if I'm looking to replace or augment and supplement my hard copy material, some things to consider is, how am I going to be using it? Am I going to be using the material only at home on my kitchen table? Because that need would be different than if I was going to use it in church. Let's say I'm going to, every Sunday I go to Rising Star Church, and Pastor Donaldson is preaching out of the NASB translation, and maybe I want to follow along with that. So maybe I want an app that includes NASB so I can follow that. But when I get home, I go back to my King James. Or perhaps I want to, as he's going through his sermon, I maybe want to looking at some maps. And so I got to be thinking, how do I want to use it? I want to use it at home, or on a mobile device, out of the house, or both. And do I have a computer and a tablet that I want to integrate? One of the powerful things now, you've probably heard the term cloud computing. Well, cloud computing sounds like it's a very obscure term, that this data is somewhere up in the cloud. In reality, all it is data is stored somewhere other than your device, but you have access to it in a very easy and quick mode. What that means is I can store some data on the cloud somewhere. And if I have a tablet, a smartphone, my computer, I have access to that data wherever I'm at. So in my case, remember I talked about that notepad. So I have my notes on the smartphone under the app, the Bible app, and I can reference those notes no matter if I'm on my kitchen table, on my laptop, whether I'm using my iPad, using my smartphone. So I want to look at, how am I going to use the data and where am I going to use it? Now, a lot of people say to me, Steve, this sounds great, but how much does it cost? Because I really don't want to spend that much money. Maybe I got a tight budget. It's not conducive for me to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this software. Plus, I'm not sure I'm even going to use it. That's not a problem, because many of these apps are free, at least to get started. That's what I like about it, because the particular one that I use, and we'll talk in a little bit about it, is Olive Tree, the Bible study Olive Tree. And what they do is they basically offer it for free, and you get some tools with it. You get some elementary maps with it. You get some translations. You get some commentary, and then it sets the foundation. And that's key. You want to set a foundation for going into the future on what you may want to add to it. So if you like, I referenced my Charles Ryrie Study Bible. If you like this Charles Ryrie Study Bible, you can actually get it. Now you do pay for that, but there are other Bibles that are free, but you would pay for the commentary, and it's relatively inexpensive. Typically they're anywhere from $15 to $20 to $25, which is still cheaper than buying the hard copy. But you have it out there and you have all the references. What's nice about it too is as you read through, and if you do a workshop for you, and we'll get into a little bit more detail, you can follow along with the commentary on a split page. And when I say split page, one side of the page has the Bible text, the other has a commentary. So that works very well. So how do you use the Bible app? Well, basically what I do is I use something called Olive Tree. And what I do, I like that because I have all my study Bibles on it. I have a couple dozen study Bibles, and I like study Bibles. I use them a lot, but I don't want to have a big stack on my table in my kitchen. So this way I have access here, and I can go through those. What I found though over time, and I know most of you haven't had this problem yet, but as I get a little older, my eyes start to get a little bad, and I need brighter lights, or more importantly, I need bigger text, right? How many times have you maybe picked up a book, even a newspaper, magazine, or a Bible, and you say, I wish that text was a little bit bigger. Well, these Bible apps have the ability to do all kinds of customization. One of which is you can change the size of the letters. And that's great because as you get older, your eyes may need a bigger text. And instead of getting rid of this Bible, giving this away and buying a new one with a larger print, you can use that same Bible app and just enlarge the font. Same thing is when you look at different colors. I use a 4-color pen, and it works great. I have 4 different colors plus pencil. Bible apps typically allow you to modify and customize what you're looking at. Do you want to have maybe today you feel like seeing Jesus's words in red, you can do that. And actually this is so sophisticated, you can pick the different shades of red that you want. And how many times have you looked at something in red, that's a little bright, or maybe it's a little faded, a little washed out. Bible apps now, you can change that to customize it for you. You can customize it in the sense that I want certain things to be bolded or not. But one thing I think that people sometimes fail to realize when you consider apps is how much the search capability, how powerful that is. So I may come across a word, let's say I'm in the Old Testament, and I come across Alpha and Omega. And I want to say, well, how is that used? I think Jesus used it. I think it meant first and last. But I can do a quick search, just to give you an example. And I'm doing a quick search on it. So when you talk Alpha and Omega, so they have a dictionary here, right? And so when I look at that, I can look at this on this app, the Bible app that has an added dictionary to it. It says Alpha was the first letter of the Greek alphabet, and Omega was the last. And it says these letters occur in the text of Revelation 1:8, 11, 21:6, 22:13, and are represented by Alpha and Omega. So that was something I didn't have to think, okay, where did I see Alpha and Omega? I mean, I could go to my concordance. In some cases, a concordance may have it, may not. But I can go to my app, and not only will it go into a dictionary if I have it loaded, I can also then do cross multiple translations, multiple resources, and it's a great way. How many times have you thought about, what? I know the Bible says this. I know it says that. I'm not sure where it's at, and it's a great way to do that. Same thing with your notes. Now in this case, I may have my notes on a notepad, and perhaps I got 40 or 50 pages. Over time, you're going to have more and more, right? You're going to have more and more. And what happens? How do you organize those? The app can do that. You can do a search through your notes. In fact, maybe I just want to do a brief highlight of, maybe I'm going to do a brief highlight of, let's say, Matthew, the book of Matthew. I can do a search. I can just actually not do a search as much, but just show all my notes for Matthew that I've taken over the years. Great resource. So I look at that. I look at all the things that I have here, and the Bible apps do a lot of that. Even things like, if you're sitting and saying, well, Steve, that's great that you want to study. All I want to do is read my Bible. That's all I want to do. I just want to read my Bible. I don't need to study. All I want to do is, let's say I want to read through the Bible in a year. Not a problem, because there's various reading plans on here. So instead of having, what's the date today? Today is the 6th, the 5th, the 4th? I'm not sure. And then where am I? Am I in Matthew? Am I in Mark? Where am I? I don't need to remember all that stuff. I go to my tablet or my smartphone, and it's got a daily reading plan that I've set up ahead of time. And I've said, okay, this is the plan I want. This is how many chapters or verses I want to read every day. I pick it up, and I go in here, and it keeps track of it. I don't have to get my notepad out and say, okay, this is what I read today, or there I skipped one day. Now what do I do? I have all that here. So it's a great resource for that. Now, I would say this, is it perfect? No. If you're looking for a perfect Bible app, or for that matter, any type of app, there's nothing perfect. But with our digital navigators, they can help sit down with you and find out where your needs are. Because some people may say, I strictly want to look at commentary. Fine. Which apps are stronger for commentary? Or I don't have any money. I need the best free app available. What can you recommend? We can do that to you. You can look at maps. And the funny thing is, you'll find that, and this happens a lot with a variety of apps, you may select an app because you think you want to do this, maybe ABC. As you get the app and you start learning, you say, you know what, I'd really like to delve a little bit deeper into D, E, and F. And you can do that. That's what's nice about using a free app to get started. It doesn't cost any money. It costs a little bit of time to learn it. But we have the resources here at Oak Hill Collaborative with their digital navigators, outreach specialists, to help you with that. So again, some things to consider. How am I going to be using the app? Is it going to be strictly at home, on the road, at church? Do I want to do it on a smartphone, a tablet, perhaps my computer, or all three? And I would say, think about all three. And the reason for that is I can be studying, let's say, the Gospel of John on my tablet, and later on I want to call something up in church, and maybe I don't have my tablet with me because I studied it at home with the tablet. I've got my smartphone. I have access to that because of that term we use, cloud computing. I have access to that. And if I'm reading my reading plan, this is excellent for that. If you're reading through the Bible and you have a bookmark, right, and you know where you're at, and then what happens? You set it down, bookmark comes out, and now like, where was I? Was I in chapter 4, chapter 5? I don't remember, right? With the reading plan on a smartphone, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to lose it, because the smartphone is keeping track, or the tablet is keeping track of where you are. And it actually can do statistics. If you really want to get into it and dig deep, it'll tell you how many chapters you're reading a day and where you are, how many chapters you have yet to go if you want to complete that book in say this month or so forth. So this is basically a Bible app introduction. We do have workshops that go into more detail, and you can sit down. We recommend you come in and take a look. Even bring your smartphone, your tablet. We have computers. We have a computer lab. We can sit down with you and go through, identify what your needs are, and walk you through step by step by step. It's very simple to use. It's very powerful. And we look at this as a way to bridge that digital divide. What we're trying to do is make sure everybody in our region, our community, has access to the internet. They can afford it, and they know how to use it, along with the equipment to use it. So with that in mind, again, if you want to get set an appointment up, 330-406-0731. It's oakhillcollaborative.org. And I know I give the website out, realizing some people may not have the website. May have access to it. That's okay. We have a phone number. But give us a call. We'll come out and talk to you, or you come to us. And right now we're in multiple counties, so you don't have to live next door to us. We can come to you. And the final thing I was going to say, it just skipped my mind. You know, it doesn't matter, because I have all my notes on here, and I am good to go. So if you like what you see, please hit the like button, subscribe. Any comments? And even if you have suggestions on how we can do things a little better here at Oak Hill Collaborative and our Digital Advantage program, please let us know. Thanks for your time, and I'll talk to you again soon.
That was great.